Welcome to 1 and 4, everybody. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and I am upside down right now, as we all are. 1 and 4. There we go. How about that? How you guys doing out there tonight? I see you out there, Sandy. Mike Buckeyes. I see a few people in TikTok. The YouTubers like to come in about a minute or two later. They come on in so they don't miss a whole lot. Arm's Creations, how you doing as well? We're going to be talking about the game review of last night's Monday night game, 30-29. Kind of a heartbreaking loss. Did a lot better the first half. In the second half, we'll go over the offense. We'll go over the defense. I'll go over the 4 keys to the game that I put out on Friday during the game preview. And I'm going to assign letter grades for those and also to the offense and the defense. Hi, Psycho Jackal. How you doing? Psycho puts rigged game. We can talk about that in the question and answer segment if you like. Some could say we got some calls, especially that roughing call. We'll get into that as well. The holding call against Malcolm Kuntz on the missed field goal. That was a little questionable as well. A lot of questionable calls on the referees for sure. So let's get right to this as everybody's kind of getting in here. If you are new to the channel, of course, this is how we normally do it. We have what we call the rundown here. These are our topics that we're going to be talking about. And then at the end, we're going to do an open mic question and answer segment. If you want to come on, you can talk, or you can just talk in the chat and I'll answer your questions right there. Let's get right down to this.
I hear everyone say, take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
Start with the champion count. I appreciate all of you. And we had a little bit of an uptick. If you were here during the halftime report Monday night at halftime, we talked about that in the game preview, that we might get a little grazie posse, and that's exactly what happened. I figured that because not a lot of people were live streaming at the time. It's a Monday night game. Just like last year with the Sunday night game, they have to come in here and bomb it and add some subs, add some counts. They try to help out other channels, which is okay. It didn't really bother me that much. I kind of knew what was happening. But also TikTok went up as well, so I thank every single one of you from both platforms.
The other team's quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard.
Defense, the defensive matchup against their offense. We're going to go over the 2 keys to the game first and see how we did. And first of all, I talked about at least trying to contain Mahomes. You can't really stop him. That's obvious. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see at least 2 sacks, at least 5 quarterback hits. I'd like to see a turnover and less than 50% on third down conversions as a key to the game to win this. What we actually got was we got 3 sacks, including that one with Perryman. That was a little, he got stepped on Patrick Mahomes. He went down, and Perryman was kind of Johnny on the spot, rushed in there and got him. Very smart of him. Hefe, I'll get to your question in a minute. How about that? Nice to see you here. I didn't see you at halftime, though. I wonder why. I'm probably losing by 10, that's why. Did get 6 hits. We didn't get any turnovers, and we were a little bit over that 50% benchmark that I wanted, 7 of 12. It's about 52%. I'm going to give this one a B. I I think we did much better. It was kind of a tale of two halves. We could talk about that in a little bit once we get to the overall. But I think the front four did a heck of a job creating pressure. Orlando Brown was having some problems there, especially when they moved Max Crosby over. Let's see, how you doing out there, Jorge? I see you out there. And I'm going to give it overall a B. I think just for that key to the game, I think we did well enough to win the game. Of course, we only lost by 1 point anyway. But let's see some hugs for Mahomes here. I like this. Some more hugs, 3 sacks, 2 by Max Crosby. But Chandler Jones did show up, was getting a lot of good pressure, played a better game than I've seen him probably play in a Raider uniform this year, to be honest with you. So I think well done overall from this aspect and trying to control Mahomes. Of course, he's all-world quarterback. You're only going to contain him for so long. But I think we did enough to win this game. Let's get to that second one. I wanted to control that running game. They started trying to get that going. Clyde Edwards-Helaire going. I wanted to see 85 rush yards or less and 5 rushing first downs. Did pretty good in the first half. Second half, not so much. 103 total rushing yards, 7 rushing first downs. I'm going to give this one a C-. There's a big key to the game. I talked about that in the halftime report that we had Mahomes sacked, and then all of a sudden, little McKinnon, 5'9", comes in and has like 2 Derrick Henry runs, dragging people like little giants. I didn't understand that at all. We can't tackle. If we could tackle this guy, it probably would have been a 3-and-out. We would have gotten the ball back. That gave them a lot of momentum. They ended up, I believe, getting a touchdown off that. So, roughing the passer, Hefe says, what about that hold where you guys missed the field goal? We're going to talk about that nonsense. You guys got 7 points off of that. You should have gotten nothing. So, you guys cry all the time. You get all the calls. You got one bad call, and then you're going to cry like a baby about it. So overall, I'm going to give this off our defense a C. Did give up 30 points, but it is the Chiefs. It was kind of rough sledding, especially when they tried to get back. Third quarter was terrible. Gave up 2 touchdowns. Did keep the game close. We'll get to the 2-point conversion in a minute. We did stop them there to give our offense a chance to win the game. Of course, they did not. So I'm going to give it a C. Given, if we were to play like the Indianapolis Colts or Jacksonville Jaguars, they wouldn't have gotten a C, giving up 30 points. But with this high-powered offense, I think that's justified.
I hear everyone say it. Take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
Now, on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, I had 2 keys to the game. First one was Derek Carr, of course. And we're going to talk about Derek Carr right now. I want to say at least 280 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 turnover max. And I want to say 110 QBR and 50% of that third down conversion. This is what we actually got from Carr. 241 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Little over that 110 benchmark and 5 of 12. Just underneath that's 42% on third down conversions. I'm going to give Derek Carr a B+ here. We'll get to the overall offensive grade, of course, but I'm just talking about Derek Carr. I think he had a decent game, but definitely an above-average game. I think he didn't make any mistakes from what I've seen. For the most part, hitting players when he could, recognizing the blitzes. We very well could have won this game if Renfro and Davante Adams didn't bump into each other. Once again, Chiefs all-out blitz. Spagnuolo, very predictable, and with a guy like Davante, you're rolling the dice. They're lucky we pulled the 3 Stooges at the end. We probably would have won the game with a touchdown there. So I think Derek Carr played a good game and a very well good enough game to win overall. I would have liked to have seen that third down conversion number come up a little bit though. Second one, I wanted to focus on our 2 stars at the receiving position. Of course, Waller, MIA again, got hurt, his hamstring or whatever. Frankly, I'm kind of tired of hearing about Darren Waller. You know, he's hurt all the time, but then he's crying he's not making enough money. We bump him up, and we're still playing this game with him, you know. I wouldn't mind trading him at this point. I'm kind of sick and tired of it. You know, he's not giving the production out there. And your best ability, you know what, is availability. He's just not there. So let's focus on these other two studs here. Davante Adams. Hunter Renfrow is back from concussion protocol, and I wanted to see 20 targets combined, 15 receptions, 150 plus receiving yards, and 2+ touchdowns. And this is what we got. We got 11 targets, 7 receptions, a little bit under the marks I wanted, 149 yards receiving. Those were some bombs to Davante because, like I said, I wasn't worried about the Chiefs secondary at all, just like I said in the preview, and that played out to be true. And we'll get to the overall offensive grade in a minute, and I'll say that. So I'm not so worried about these not hitting these, and they also got the 2 touchdowns because Jacobs ran the hell out of the ball, over 100 yards rushing, or 150 yards rushing, against the, quote, #1 run defense. Jacobs made him look stupid out there, and that's going to eat it up. If Jacobs is eating, you keep feeding him. So I understand that they didn't get as many targets because of that, but what they did, they were very useful and created a lot of damage. So I'm going to give it a B. You could probably maybe even bump that up a little bit, given the fact that we were running the ball so well, and they just didn't get enough targets because of that. Now, overall grade, I'm going to give this one an A- to the offense. I think, and not just for my keys to the game, the way we ran the ball, and let's face it, guys, the pass protection, I know we had some penalties on the offensive line, but overall the pass protection was outstanding, given this front four, which I think is arguably one of the best in the league. Carr had a lot of time. Honestly, sometimes Carr was taking too much time, like I said in the halftime report. He needed to get it out a little bit sooner. I know he wanted to throw it down. They were very aggressive, throwing the ball deep. I like seeing that, but at times you gotta take what they give you at times. At other times, go and burn them. And we did with those 2 bombs to Adams. Made the KC defense look stupid there, and you know what? Should have happened for a third time if we didn't have the 3 Stooges bumping into each other on the last play there on 4th down. And then, of course, you want to talk about this, we can talk about this. If you don't know, Davante Adams, of course, after that play where they bumped into each other, threw his helmet down. He was pissed off on the field. And this happened after the game. He's trying to get to the locker room. This idiot, probably some inbred hick from Missouri, getting in his way. He got a little upset and pushed him. He didn't like bull rush him down. Everybody's saying he should get suspended. I don't think so. He should probably get fined. But a suspension, I don't think so on this. So if we want to talk about that, we can talk about that as well. Here's my prediction, of course, what I predicted, 37-34 KC. Very close to that. Again, the Raiders were very close in winning this game. They played well. Let's get to the 2-point conversion, shall we? I want to go here. I want to see you guys. I want to see how you guys are doing. Let's get to the 2-point conversion. How you guys doing out there? I think it was stupid. I thought it was stupid when he did it. And then after he explained it at the presser after the game, I think it was even dumber than that. You know, I got in trouble on TikTok for calling him a certain name. I'm not going to repeat, but he's showing it. He's showing himself to be just that. I mean, he was saying, well, we went for 2 because, you know, the defense wasn't really getting the stops basically, and their offense kept going and going. Well, then what's going to happen? Even if you only are up by 1 point, they could score, get a field goal and score if that's your mentality. My mentality was get the extra point, get the tie, and make them go down and get a touchdown because their kicker was terrible last night. He missed 1 field goal. He missed the second one. They got bailed out on that crappy call. Oh, holding. There was no holding there. That was absolute nonsense, that Malcolm Kuntz call. Basically gifted them a touchdown. So to me, that erases that roughing call off the play. Those negate each other, okay? And if you want to talk about the PIs, your guys have to turn around and actually defend for the ball. They can't run into Davante Adams without getting flags. That's just the way it is. I know you guys normally get all the calls because we're the Raiders. Maybe Davante's getting more calls like that because he's a star, but we normally don't get those calls. So you guys are used to getting all the hookups with the refs, and you didn't get them this time, and all the inbreds were screaming and yelling at the stadium. It was hilarious, to be honest with you. So I think we shouldn't have went for it on the 2-point conversion. We should have tied, made them come down and get that touchdown. They didn't even score. So we should have went to overtime and took in our chances there, to be honest with you. It didn't happen. We used all our timeouts. We did stop them, but we used all our timeouts. We kind of ran out of real estate. And, of course, the 4th down debacle that could have very well been a touchdown. So, but I want to hear what you have to say, of course. I'm going to put the link up right now, just like we did on, let's see. Let me get this. I'm going to get this set up for you guys. Hang on. I'm going to put this out here right now. So I want to know what you have to say about this. You can put it in the chat or let me get this link. I'll put the link in here. You can come on the screen right now that you see right now and come on. I will invite you in. You can talk and I will let you have your piece. Let's see. Yeah, and Sandy B says, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you are enjoying this. If you are, you should hit the thumbs up button. And if you're watching this on the replay, I know I get a lot of views on the replay. Sometimes more than the actual live stream. I think sometimes YouTube isn't notifying my people, my subs of the live stream, so they don't see it. I know some of you get it, and I've talked to some, they don't get it, and they catch it after the fact. It is what it is. Hopefully, though, you will be getting these more consistently. And if you are watching this on a replay, why not join us live? You can come here, chat right over here. Come join me. If you don't want to put your cam on, that's fine. Just put your mic on. State your piece about the game. I will invite Chiefs fans. We had Hefe in here on Friday during the game preview. That's fine as well. I want to say hello. I see Dominique in here as well. Psycho Jackal, Sandy B. Hefe is, of course, here. I would wonder if we did hit Devontae on that touchdown at the very end instead of them bumping against each other. Would Hefe have been in here tonight for the game review? Let's see. Let's see what you guys have to say. Psycho says, I'm disappointed we couldn't keep the lead and then we lost. Like if a family member did you wrong. Well, here's my thing, and I talked about this at the halftime report. I was worried that we would lose the lead. I don't think we necessarily choked like we did against Arizona. I think KC kind of stepped up. Okay, I think we kind of punched them in the mouth in the beginning, and they didn't think that was going to be coming, and they were kind of taken aback, and then they kind of collected themselves and got back. I mean, we're only up we're up 17-0. It was 20-10 at half. So it wasn't like 20-0, you know, like Arizona. Arizona wasn't doing anything at all on offense in the first half. So I think that's what good teams do. You know, they dust themselves off and come back. And that's exactly what they did. And of course, can't stop Travis Kelce. Corey Littleton was supposed to be the answer. I know people, he can't cover. Bullshit. Because he covered George Kittle. That was his claim to fame when he was with the Rams. He couldn't do jack with us. We need to find a solution, draft something. Again, we're 18 million under the cap, and we're still thin at cornerback. We're thin at defensive tackle. Not getting the interior rush that I'd like to see, to be honest with you. They are creating some holes for Perryman, though, to come up and make plays on the inside. Not a whole lot of rushing again. Like I said, I didn't think the Chiefs would be able to run the ball on us with Perryman back there out of concussion protocol. So I think we played well overall. I think we played well enough to win. But, again, it's these little things in the coaching, the 2-point conversion. It's like these little things that we do to mess ourselves up. I almost feel like KC has more talent overall. Then why are they only winning by 1 point? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think we had their number early on, and then they adjusted. I think the defense was in big trouble in the second half we didn't really have a solution. It looked like Patrick Graham was doing all kinds of things. He was blitzing. He was only sending 3 down linemen, and nothing was working. To be honest with you, I think if our front four can't get to the quarterback, especially with Mahomes, we're in trouble. Same thing with Herbert or Josh Allen. Those types of elite quarterbacks, we're going to be in trouble. And again, we need to find somebody in the future to cover a Travis Kelce. 4 touchdowns. It's inexcusable. But like I said, that wasn't a key to the game, because I've seen him go off on us, and there's times where we win the game or it's close. Not last year where we got destroyed. One last year we gave it up like five turnovers. It was embarrassing. But 2 years ago we split and both games were close. I think Kelce went off on both games. It got at least 100 and a touchdown there. So I think that wasn't a big deal for us. Again, he had 4 touchdowns in the game, and they only won by 1 point. So, and that's because we didn't kick an extra point, because I can't say the word. You know how I feel about McDaniels. Let's see. Let's see your comments here. Dominique says, 4th and 1, we're throwing 50 yards down the field. Cleve Farrell lined up at corner checking Kelce. Why did we not double and triple him, especially in the red zone? Why do our corners play 10 yards off the ball? That's a big question. And the announcers even said it. I think it was Teron Harmon, playing so deep in the end zone. By the time he gets to Kelce, who got the ball, he's right near the goal line. You're going to have to make some miraculous tackle. I didn't get that at all. I mean, Kelsey's pretty good. He's not fat. He's not fast enough in the red zone to kind of break away, kind of like a Hunter Renfrow can, where you have to worry. You have to be so far back. I didn't get that at all. That was like a pitch and catch. That was too easy. That was way too easy. Let's see. The 4th and 1, we threw 50 yards. We should, because their MO, obviously, and the time before where they got burnt before, is 4th down, they bring the whole house. They bring the whole house because they're trying to scare Derek Carr, I think, into just throwing it away or whatever. And with Devontae Adams, they can't do that anymore. I think that was a big thing with us, and I've seen it with past Chiefs games where they do that crap. And I saw it when after Henry Ruggs got in trouble, we didn't have him anymore, and we didn't have a deep threat, and so we were screwed. Now they really can't play that game. They were really throwing the dice there, especially that last play, that 4th down play. So I don't mind that. You could say, well, you could just run the ball with Jacobs. Well, maybe, but they're gonna be playing the run. They're gonna be basically blitzing in. And especially with this offensive line, I mean, you're going to have some pretty good blocking to give them something there, especially when they blitz people. I'd rather take my chances with a one-on-one with Devontae. He's a stud. We paid him all this money. Why not go there? Let's see. First half was awesome. First half was good. Wasn't as good as Arizona, Sandy B, but it was good. About partway into the second quarter, Casey started getting their wind back. Kind of like I said, they got punched in the mouth. They kind of collected themselves, kind of got back in the game. It was 20-10. So Waller MIA again, back to the locker room. He's got a hamstring again. I mean, maybe he should go to Travis Kelce's house and ask him what he does as far as strength and conditioning, because that guy hardly misses any games. He hardly gets hurt, and I don't know how many. I don't know if he's even missed. Probably very few games. I'm not going to say he's not ever missed a game, but that guy's pretty much an Iron Man. So, again, I could kind of see it where he wasn't happy with the contract. That's been resolved. It's time to get up there and produce, and the more you're gone, the less we can rely on you, and the more Carr's going to get familiar with the other guys. I mean, that's why Mac Hollins is getting so many views now, because Waller isn't there. Waller's not producing. It's ridiculous. That was stupid. Go for a sure thing, not for the 2. My thing is, if it would have been like, if it would have been 2, or if we were up by 2 and it would have went to 4, maybe, yeah. But it would only be a 1-point lead. So, and you're so worried about them scoring that they can just score then. Didn't make sense to me. Al's Ghost says, "Hey, Raider Champion, appreciate the insight. I appreciate you coming on in." So, what did you think of the game? If you want to come on again, I'll put the link up. I'm gonna have to end this a little soon. I have another commitment coming up, so we can stay for about another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna have to kind of end this one a little quicker. I usually go on about an hour. But if you do want to come in, you can come in here, right here. It's reversed, so I'm actually pointing the wrong way. I'm looking at my monitor where it's at, and I have to kind of point the wrong way. So if you can hit the link, set your name in there, and I will invite you in if you want to talk. If you want to get on camera, you can. If you don't, that's fine. You can just have your mic, and you want to talk about the game or anything else. You want to talk about the bye week. Houston's next. We've got a relatively easier schedule. Like I said, the first 5 games when I did the schedule review. And we'll do the schedule review next week sometime. I will set that, so stay tuned for that. Of course, our picks weren't so great. I didn't see us going 1-4. I saw us going 3-2. I did see us losing this game. This is, come on, guys. This is probably going to be the toughest game of the year for us, at least in the regular season. Let's be honest. At KC on Monday Night Football, and we played a heck of a game. Little came up a little short. A couple of little things we could have done, probably win the game, but it is what it is. Husker Raider, he says, "What's up, Betty? Crazy game last night." Absolutely crazy. The scene was crazy. The way the Raiders came out and punched KC in the mouth right off the bat, 17-0 lead was crazy. The refereeing was crazy on both sides of the ball, and I'm willing to admit I think that roughing call was a bunch of crap. But I have a reason behind that, and it's not that they like the Raiders. The refs don't like the Raiders. They got that nonsense holding call that negated the missed field goal. I don't believe they like the Raiders now, or they're hooking them up. I think this is a flashback, a backlash, so to speak, for the whole Tua thing. And the way, I think he got a concussion that first time in that first game where he flopped back and hit his head on the back. I'm not a doctor, but that's my opinion. A lot of people feel that way. And then they cleared him, and he came back and kind of got driven down. And they had to take him out in an ambulance, and they fired the concussion protocol guy or whatever. So, and then the Grady Jarrett, Atlanta, on Tom Brady, he got a roughing call, which was very questionable. So I think this is a backlash from Tua. So they're gonna treat the quarterbacks like flag football. It is what it is. I mean, that's why. So it's not like, oh, they like the Raiders, want to keep them in the game, or they hate the. No, I don't buy that for a second. So because it was happening on Sunday as well. Husker says the next 6 games are winnable. I'm not worried. I'm not worried either. This is, like I said, I think this is our toughest. This was our toughest game of the year, and we only lost by 1 point. And I still think we shouldn't have went for 2. I think we should have tied and let the defense do its thing. It had to do it anyway. Even if we got it and got a 1 point lead, it would have had to make a stop. So why not make them go down? And like I said, that kicker Matthew Wright was crap last night. So why not make them come down? I mean, I think they went for that 2-point conversion because when they had the 7-point lead and they wanted to go to 9, I think they wanted to do that instead of the extra point because they didn't believe in Matthew Wright. I mean, why not take it to an 8-point lead? So why not put the impetus on them to go all the way down and score a touchdown because their kicker was terrible? I see Al's Ghost in here. How you doing? Let me get you on here, sir. Let me see. Hang on. Hey, Al, are you there? Got your mic on? Oh, looks like you had some trouble. Here you go. Do you hear me, Al? Al, are you there?
Hey, champion.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Testing. There seems to be. I can hear you.
So, he had two of you on here, and so I took the other one off. So can you hear me now? That might have been an issue. Let me turn you up so we can hear you well. There you are. Al, are you there? Uh-oh. Now this connection's down, so I heard him for a second, and then he popped out and popped back in. So let me take you out of here, Al. There you are. There you are. You come back. Al, you there? Al.
How about test?
I hear you.
1, 2, 3.
I hear you. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I only have not too great after yesterday's loss. Tough one for sure. Only have if you just wanted to get a few things off my confidence is on another level on this team. The game you touched on.
Ooh, you're kind of coming in and out. I'm not so sure. Let's see. Dominique says, an L is an L. I don't believe in moral victories. Well, yeah, that's right. That's true. But that said, there's a lot to build on. So I'm still kind of questioning McDaniels. Al, I'm not hearing you right now. You're kind of fading in and out. Unfortunately, I'm not so sure. It looks like the connection is low right now. We're having some problems tonight with the chat. Let's see, I'll take you out right now. Yeah, we're having some problems with the chat right now, unfortunately. So but if you do want to come in here, I'll put the link in here. I don't think it's on my side. I've got full bars. There's the link if you want that. If you want to come here and chat, you can. You don't have to use your mic or you don't have to use your camera. Rather, you do have to use your mic. I need to hear you, but I don't think it's YouTube because I'm not getting any indications of poor connection here. It's either something on his side or something within the Restream. You see the little Restream up here. Website that I use. We weren't having any problem last time. The only problem is being able to hear the others while I do it. And there is a way to do this that I can kind of bypass things. I'm going to try to do that if he comes back so the TikTokers can hear, but YouTube can hear it directly because I have a stream key and I use OBS to do the live streams, and TikTok I use this thing. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. I use my tablet for TikTok because I don't have a stream key. I'm zoomed in, so half my head's cut off. I don't have a stream key for the TikTok platform where I can go directly on my laptop. If I did, I don't think this would be an issue as far as the TikTokers hearing it. So let's see. And Husker says, L is an L, I agree, but it's better than getting blown out the last 2 years. Well, there's a lot to take away. Let's talk about it. Some good and some bad. I think the play calling was overall decent. Again, I think we shouldn't have went for 2 there. I like how we're running the ball more. And Al talked about that during the preview as being a smash mouth team. It's kind of feeling that way, to be honest with you. I'd like to see, again, Zamir White, they gave it to him on a sweep. What are you doing with that as far as play calling goes? This is another bigger kid up the middle between the tackles guy you moved up in the draft for. I didn't understand that one. He should be coming in and you pound the ball and then bring him in, let Jacob sit for a couple plays, have him pound the ball a couple times, throw a pass and then bring Jacobs in, pound them again. And it's a lot easier for the offensive line to run block, of course, than pass block, being back on their heels, trying to pick up blitzes and stunts and all that, than having your blocking assignments, especially a zone blocking, and just going from there. It's obvious, especially with this younger offensive line. Dylan Parham made a few mistakes last night. Unfortunately, one of them cost a sack. So this is growing pains. I'm a little concerned with some of the play calling, and I'm a little concerned that we aren't going out and bolstering some of these positions. I'm still not totally convinced the right tackle position. Luminor has been kind of up and down. Thayer Munford was in as well. They're still kind of cycling people in and out. I'd rather have a solid core of guys in there that we can build around. It almost feels like he's still kind of feeling things out. And we're in week 5, well, after week 5 now. So, I mean, at what point do we get some standardization, you know? And I'd like a little bit more depth on the cornerback position, and also a defensive tackle. Bilal Nichols is okay. I want a little bit more pass pressure up the middle. Jones showed up. Chandler Jones finally showed up on the edge. Like I said, probably played his best game in silver and black. Max Crosby's Max Crosby. He's just otherworldly. He's a guy that everybody kind of cringes. The offense kind of cringes when he's on the other side of the field because he's good. He has a series of moves and he just never quits. He's like the Terminator. He just never stops. So it's awesome. It's awesome. That was great to have him. So I think we need somebody outside linebacker that can match up at least decently with Kelsey. Way too much on him. Let's see. Al's Ghost says technical issues. Not sure what happened. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's you or the Restream website. It was working pretty well Friday. We had you. We had Hefe in here as well. So I don't know if it's you. I think it might be the Restream option. If anybody else wants to come on and see if your connection goes bad. Mine's been, I get to see the number of bars too on here in the studio. Mine's been at all 4 bars the whole time. So I'm not sure if it's on your side or where you're connecting to the Restream site. So hopefully that has worked out one way or the other next time we come, because I like joining and I like conversing with you, and I really like this this new chat box we have, and talking to you guys directly as well. So again, I'm going to have to close this one out a little bit earlier. I have another a prior thing I'll be doing pretty soon. So I usually go about an hour. I'll probably be closing out about another 10 minutes or so. So if you have any more questions, if you have any more comments about the game, put them in here right now. So let's see. Husker says, let's be honest, calls on last night were bad on both sides. Yes. But the refs, I believe, were making up for that roughing the passer call. I think so too. They'll do that sometimes. You know, there were some bad calls on the Raiders. Dominic says, I'm sorry, but I can't be positive. We're 1-4. How are you not worried? Of course we're worried. We're worried, but tomorrow's another day. I mean, I'll take the positives where this offensive line, I think, played above average, especially against the level of competition this week. Let's look at the line work last night versus week 1 against the Chargers. It looks a lot better. I mean, it's not perfect. There's still got a lot of young players on there, but overall, it's looking better than it was. Again, we're still trying to build. There's some big holes that we had on both sides of the ball. We filled some of them. We still have some issues, though, right? A lot of those early round picks that were taken from the old regime aren't here anymore for various reasons, and that's going to hurt you. You can't essentially miss on a bunch of first and second round picks and then expect to be okay. It doesn't work that way. Husker says, we went into Arrowhead, lost by 1 point. Last couple of years we were blown out. That's why I'm not worried. Yeah, we're playing better. I know a lot of people in the like the Raiders, if you look at the pressers, they say bring back Gruden. No thanks. No thank you. I would rather have this situation than Gruden, because Gruden was way too predictable, and it just wasn't working out. It just wasn't. And I really think those emails were kind of a silver lining for us. Not to say that McDaniels is the second coming of Bill Belichick, but I think we have a better chance with this new regime, both on and off the field as far as drafting. Let's see. Can't hear guests on TikTok. I was having them on. I can kind of mute mine and put it on the speaker, and that'll work. But there were some problems with Al on there, so of course you can hear me because I'm just talking and I'm talking into my mic. So the TikTok side can hear me no problem. It's the other people that get on that's the issue. Let's see. Go Yankees. Hey Raider Wolf, how you doing? I see you in here. Al's Ghost says Restream website. We lost hands down because the officiating horrible. I'm gonna say it was both sides. I mean we got a hook up. Let's face it, that roughing call was nonsense. We got a hook up there, but that holding on Kuntz on the missed field goal was nonsense too. So there was a lot of little questionable, goofy little calls like that. Shh. My cats are crying. They think I'm talking to them. But anyway, there were a lot of little goofy little calls like that. I'm not going to blame the refs for this because we got a good call, and they essentially got a good call. So, and there were like a lot of little goofy little things that were happening. I mean, you could have even argued that Devontae catch was in because it looked, if you watch it on, they replayed it a few times, it looked like he kind of palmed the ball with one hand while both feet were down, like he had it right here, just one-handed. And then he kind of went like this to secure it. So, I mean, you could have argued that was a catch. They didn't call it a catch, you know. It is what it is. I mean, essentially, we should have kicked the extra point, tied the game, and either way, the defense would have to make a stop. Even if we had a 1-point lead, the defense would have to make a stop. And so that logic McDaniels had for going for 2 points didn't make any sense, and we stopped them, so we could have went to overtime. So. Dominique says, I disagree with Raider Wolf. Have to hold the team accountable. Can't blame everything on the refs. Okay, so who do you blame player wise for the loss last night, Dominique? Raider Wolf says, yeah, and quite a few non-calls on the Chiefs. They were holding Crosby like crazy. I mentioned that to a Chiefs fan. I know. They were complaining about calls. I said, how did Crosby not get one holding call? How did KC not get one holding call against Crosby? It didn't happen. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They were doubling him after a while. This is why we need, why not get an Ndamukong Suh? He's still out there. Even if he's a shadow of his old self, put him in on third down. Put him in on third down when they double up Crosby. He could get in, be that hoss, and come in and disrupt. Why not get a guy like that? We're like 18. I have to check again, but we're like around 17, 18 million under the cap. We probably at this point give him 5 or 6 million. He would come on board. Use him as a rotational piece, passing situations. Oh, why not get a guy like that? I mean. I don't get it. It's like everything's on Crosby. It's nonsense, you know. Not blaming everything on the rest, but that was horrific. Yeah, it was bad on both sides. This whole like I already talked about the whole roughing thing and my take on that. So I don't think that's going to go away. In fact, I think you're going to see more calls like that, especially with the Tua situation. So next week, you're going to see at least 1 or 2 more calls like that, where it's just kind of an iffy or just a tackling, and they're going to say he tackled him too hard. But I know, like, some of the Chiefs fans were crying about the Perryman sack. Here's the thing with that: Mahomes, he's a little squirrely little runt, and if you like let up on him, especially like on the sidelines, he'll like squirt in and get 2 or 3 more yards because he's a little rat like that, He won't just take it, okay, we'll respect each other, I'll go out of bounds here. No. If Perryman didn't wrestle him and take him down to the ground like that, he could have gotten loose and ran or threw it to Kelsey for another touchdown. So you can't trust that. And that was just a solid tackle. Them crying about that is a joke. It's a joke. Let's see. At worst, they should have made the Chiefs kick it again, but no. Well, no. If it's Raider Wolf, if it's defensive holding, that's 5 yards automatic first down. So again, I didn't see any holding there. They were holding each other. The guy was holding him too. So where's the offensive holding? You know, that call was a joke too. Again, I think there were some makeup calls for that roughing call. I do believe that. I do believe the refs do that at times. Dominique says, "Hey, Daddy. Daddy's back with the milk. How you doing? Thanks." And Daddy is back with the milk is on TikTok. I love that name. You got anything to say? Put it in here. Game was ref versus the Raiders, in my opinion. I think they kind of did some makeup calls after that roughing call, but the referees probably get an F on that on both sides. Kool-Aid Man was pissed. Do you see him screaming? I've never seen him scream like that on the sideline before. After that roughing call, oh, he was hot. He deserved to be. That was a bad call. Let's see. What's up, Daddy? Daddy's back with the milk. Dominique says, we literally have no defensive tackles worth anything. Any quarterback steps on the pocket, there's no one there in the middle. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we're not getting any interior pressure. They're doing good against the run. Let's give credit where credit is due. Either penetrating and slowing the guys down for Perryman, or Diablo, or Abram coming in as well. But as far as like pass rush, it's not happening up the middle, and it's something we could use. I mean, the Chiefs got it. Why can't we get somebody? And we have the money. I just don't understand this logic going on. There was holding, but by the offense, not the defense. The call was backwards. Yeah, there was grabbing on both, and the Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, they're obviously Raider haters, just by some of the things. Yeah, he was pulling him out of the way so his guy could get there, and that happened. He was already way off the ball. It was just nonsense. And then that idiot Joe Buck, he mentioned the index card. We don't need an index card here. Yeah, it was against the Cowboys, and you guys, the refs ripped us off there. They put an index card in there to measure Dallas, and if you can put one in there, then there's space, and that means they didn't get the first down, right? No, they gave them the first down. So yeah, they were taking little digs. I can't stand Joe Buck and Troy Aikman anyway. Good thing is they're on Fox. They were on Fox, so that's NFC games. Usually you don't have to deal with their stupidity, but now they've graduated to Monday Night Football, so we'll have to deal with them once a year or whatever. Sandy B says, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification, make sure you are click to all so you don't miss any notifications. Absolutely. And again, we're going to close this off a little short, so put your questions here, your last remaining questions here, and I will answer them. But again, probably sometime next week, we'll do the schedule review 3.0, like I said, during the bye week. And of course, we'll do the game previews and reviews of in 2 weeks. Of course, next week we have a bye. So if you are enjoying this, especially if you're this long and you're watching this on a replay, why not subscribe, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified of my live streams, so you too can come on here and come on to restream with me. Hopefully it'll be working. Looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulties tonight, but Friday worked like a charm. We had 2 people on here, and I had a long discussion. Wasn't any issues. So again, come on board with us. Again, we'll cover the last questions. Daddy is back with the milk. I see you in here as well. If you have any questions on TikTok, I'll answer those as well. I am hoping at some point TikTok gives me what they call a stream key, like I did with YouTube, and I can combine these two so we don't have any issues with the audio. Everybody can hear everybody. I can put the chat on both sides, and you guys can interact on both sides and see each other's chat. It'll be a lot better. So someday, please TikTok, hook me up with the stream key. They don't give them out. It's based on how many times you go live, and you know, I've looked at a few things. You used to be able to get them off a site, and they took that away. So it's at their discretion. So I'm hoping I can get a stream key for TikTok. So if you have any other questions, we'll get to those. So Alice Ghost says I'll try to join Friday. It would be next Friday, of course, not this Friday because we have the bye week. But we will be going over the schedule review, and we can make our picks. And you guys can come on here onto Restream and make your own picks too, so we can have the predictions on here as well. So Raider Wolf says Devontae at the end running the wrong route and running into Renfro put the nail in the coffin. I'm not sure if that was on Devontae or Hunter, to be honest with you. It looked like the same kind of route he burned them before, where he cuts in a little bit and just goes to the post. I'm not so sure if Renfro was in his way, to be honest with you. Obviously, it was going to Devontae deep, how deep the ball was, and at the very worst, if that didn't happen, he would have caught the ball and been down right there, and we'd have had a first down and in field goal range. But it probably would, to me, it probably would have been another touchdown. They got burnt twice before with Devontae. Again, I think Derek Carr probably had one of his better games, to be honest with you, especially this year, if not his best game this year. Seeing the defenses, and of course having to deal with all that crowd noise, louder than hell, on the road. I think he did a great job overall. Unfortunately, we fell short. So let's see. Raider Wolf says we're going to win 8 in a row. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, let's think about it. We could win 6 of 8 and be 6-6 and in the hunt. So, I mean, I'm not going to go there. Alsgo says Renfro ran the wrong route. Renfro ran a clearing route. He was supposed to cut to the outside earlier. I think so too. I think it's the same route. I believe the first Devontae touchdown, that fourth down, it looked like the same kind of route. And yeah, I do think that was on Renfro. He was supposed to run on the outside. Who, Devontae was supposed to run? I don't think so. I think it was the same kind of route. So anyway, we're at 52 minutes in. I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much for joining us again. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the chat. Hopefully, we don't have the same technical difficulties we had with the Restream as we did tonight. I'd like to get you guys on here, at least on the mic, if not on cam as well, especially for our schedule review 3.0, which will happen next week. Join us then. Of course, we'll be on TikTok as well. Hopefully, I get a stream key by then so I can have you all on one unit and I don't have to be ghettoing on my tablet and all this other nonsense. I can just consolidate everything onto the one thing, do the program as it's supposed to be. But right now, we have to deal with it as is. Let's see. Carlos, Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, Raiders for life. This is going to be tough. 1-4 is tough. But with the schedule coming up and frankly, the way we've been playing lately, we could very well win 4 in a row coming up. And then people are going to forget about 1-4. So I'm really hoping that maybe we can bring somebody in on the defensive line. Like I said, we have the cap space. Why not bring in Ndamukong Suh in at a discount at this point? Nobody wants him. Bring him in on passing situations to bring some pressure up the middle. I think that's the best thing we can do right now. And get this together and work this out a little bit better for the bye week. So anyway, thank you guys for coming, including you, Carlos. We will be back next week to do the schedule review. Thank you to Daddy is back with the milk, Sandy B, Earth Daughter, Raider Wolf, Al's Ghost, Dominique. Did I forget any of the regulars? Husker Raider was in here as well earlier. I'm not sure if they're still in here or not. But thank you to you, and thanks to everyone coming. And as always, go Raiders.
Something with all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the years?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.